analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Driver, why you just jack us up and down like this now?
I hope nobody carry belle.
Why you ask oh?
Because this road where they see so, it no guarantee safe delivery.
We just dey vote for government, but we not get good governance.
At all.
Road so e no dey, light o usai, the infrastructure nko e come turn to be forbidden fruit for the city.
Corruption, spoil everything. Hello?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mrs. Ayeni, I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay. Okay, I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
No vex, now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I hear, I'm hearing you.
Yes. We saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Yes. Are you working on them now?
Ma, the prices you quoted are way too high now.
Madam, sorry please don't cost.
We found the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Hello?
Now my body network there.
I can't hear you. Network is bad.
Madam, we can hear you. Continue.
Hello, I can't hear you. I will call you back.
Their behavior not good now.
Madam, now this kind behavior they kill our country. You suppose do things differently, make Nigeria for better.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Atn Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television. My pleasure having you back on ATN Business on Atlantic Television Network. And now let's go into the market reports, local and international business news for today. Barring any last-minute change in plan, the $20 billion Dangote oil refinery will be listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange by December 2024. The chairman of the Dangote Group, Ali, maintained that as a new business, he would love to have Nigerians, Africans, and other investors as shareholders in the refinery, stressing that he wants to allow them to join in making what he called a historic move. The African richest man made this disclosure while speaking with the Africa Report in a video cited by the press. The listing, most likely, I won't be surprised if we list on the Nigerian Stock Exchange by the end of this year. We will do that. You know, it is new, and I think we would like to allow Nigerians, Africans, and other investors to join in making this historic move, he submitted. The Dangote Group chairman disclosed that the refinery resorted to importing crude oil from the United States because Nigeria's oil production figures kept fluctuating. Dangote said the refinery could not wait for Nigeria's crude because the production goes up and down. The press reports that Dangote's confirmation is coming at a time when the Minister of State for Petroleum, Oil, Heineken Lopobiri, denied knowledge of Dangote refinery importing crude from the United States of America. It was earlier reported that the 650,000 barrels capacity refinery had agreed to import 24 million barrels of crude oil from the United States in the coming months. The company had put out a tender for 2 million barrels of West Texas Intermediate Midland crude every month for a year starting in July. This was due to the inability of the refinery to source fixed stock locally as Nigeria battles low crude production and oil theft. But while answering questions during a sectoral ministerial briefing last week, Lokpobiri said that the country is blessed with enough crude to supply to all the refineries in the country, including the modular ones, saying he was not aware Dangote was importing crude from America. I'm not aware that Dangote refineries have started importing crude oil from the United States of America. That's the reason why we're talking about an increase in production. That's why we're talking to servicing companies to come back and start drilling. The only way we can increase production is to continue drilling, Lokpobiri stated. However, Dangote in the interview noted that it makes economic sense to get crude elsewhere as the refinery ramps up production in the coming months. We have tendered to buy some West Texas Intermediate oil from the United States because the size of our refinery is very big and we have to make sure that we secure the raw materials for our production. If we have 100% Nigerian crude, fine, but we can't wait because sometimes the production is up and down. But I think it makes economic sense for us to include the West Texas Intermediates in the basket of crudes that we are buying. And that is the reason we weren't out on a tender, the business giant stated. Alhaji Aliko Dangote said that the refinery would attain 500,000 barrels daily capacity by the end of July and its full capacity of 650,000 barrels towards the end of the year. According to him, the United States oil is not being imported to take over that of Nigeria, saying 24 million barrels coming from United States in just 2 cargoes per month, which represents 10% of the refinery's demand at full capacity. The press recalls that during the recent Africa Summit in Rwanda, Dangote promised that the refinery will put an end to the monthly importation of an average of 1 billion liters of premium motor spirit in Nigeria the moment the refinery starts selling the product in June. According to him, following the laid down plans of Dangote refinery, Nigeria will no longer need to import petrol starting from next month. Dangote also stated that his refinery can meet West Africa's petrol and diesel needs, as well as the continent's aviation fuel demand. The refinery, which is the largest in Africa and Europe when it reaches full capacity, has since commenced the sale of diesel and aviation fuel, but its petrol is yet to hit the market. In April, Dangote crashed the price of diesel from around 1,500 naira to 1,000 naira per liter. However, Nigerians were eagerly waiting for the petrol, which is the major fuel used for transportation and alternative power generators. Dangote's Vice President for Oil and Gas, Devakuma Edwin, said that at the weekend that the refinery will start exporting diesel conforming to European specifications along with petrol sales in June. A Bloomberg report says that Dangote refinery was taking advantage of cheaper U.S. oil imports for as much as a third of its feedstock it started up with. According to analytics, the refinery has been shipping products in recent weeks while readying 2 units to enable petrol output, which will deliver a long-promised transformation of the fuel market in Nigeria and the region. According to the average estimate of analysts at Woodmark, FGE and CITAC, the refinery is currently running at about 300,000 barrels a day, nearly half of its nameplate capacity. Reuters recently reported that Dangote Oil Refinery could end a decades-long petrol trade from Europe to Africa worth $17 billion a year. They also quoted traders and said that the refinery was heaping pressure on European refineries already at risk of closure from heightened competition. About a third of Europe's 1.33 million barrels per day average per day went to West Africa, a bigger chunk than any other region, with most of those exports ending up in Nigeria. But this, Dangote assured, will become a thing of the past in June. Good to hear, good to know. And don't forget, Atn Business is open for advert placements, bookings, and commercials, and you can connect with us and discuss with us and watch us Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1. On X, formerly Twitter, we are on Atlantic TV Net, and watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. On to other stories. The federal government on Monday said activities in the agricultural sector, particularly the harvest of crops, led to the injection of 309 billion naira into the Nigerian economy in the past year. It also revealed that Nigeria is currently working in partnership with Brazil to provide agricultural mechanization hubs across the federation, adding that about 1.6 billion naira is being used for this. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, disclosed this at the ministerial briefing in Abuja while speaking on achievements made in the agricultural sector since Tinubu assumed office on May 29, 2024. In commemoration of his first anniversary in office, President Bola Tinubu directed his ministers to present their performance reports to Nigerians. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, while announcing this at a press briefing in Abuja last week, has stated that the low-key first anniversary celebration will be marked with sectoral media briefings by the 47 federal ministers. The minister stated that in response to the presidential directive, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security released 42,000 metric tons of assorted food commodities from the federal government's strategic grain reserves to the National Emergency Management Agency for distribution to Nigerians. Distribution of 60,432 metric tons of improved seeds, 887,255 metric tons of seedlings, 138 value kits, 1,726 liters of agrochemicals, 62,328 metric tons of inorganic fertilizers, 1,000 kilograms of fungicides, and 32,200 equipment to farmers across the different value chains to enhance production. We received 2.15 million bags of fertilizer from the Central Bank of Nigeria for distributions to farmers free of charge. There was an improvement of farmland security within the provision of additional resources to agro rangers and other security agencies. On livestock production and animal health, the minister said his ministry procured and distributed 14,056 doses of anthrax spore, foot and mouth disease vaccines for risk-based vaccination exercises in 22 high-risk states located in the North Central, Northwest, Northeast, Southwest, and South-South zones of the country. On strengthening mechanization, the minister said that the government had signed a memorandum of understanding with John Deere and Tata Africa to assemble in-country and supply 10,000 tractors with implements and accessories at 2,000 units yearly, as well as 100 units of combine harvesters to support agricultural production. We have a partnership with Brazilian government with the sum of 995,000 euros to provide mechanization hubs across the federation. There is also the facilitation of supply of 2,000 Belarus tractors and Greener Hope mechanization services are also on course, Kyari stated. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has disclosed that the federal government was spending 1 billion naira monthly to power the Murtala Mohammed Airport in Lagos. He stated this on Monday during the ministerial press briefing in Abuja to mark the President Bola Tinubu's first year in office. According to Keyamo, the ministry is planning to reduce the heavy cost by investing in solar power systems. Keyamo explained that the ministry was bypassing the power distribution companies to buy electricity directly from the generating companies, saying that the method will save the federal government about 300 million naira. Meanwhile, Keyamo emphasized that the Nigeria Air project remained suspended. In 2023, the Ministry of Aviation under Hadi Sirika unveiled Nigeria Air 3 days before the end of former President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. The development elicited concerns among stakeholders nationwide over the ownership arrangement, which gave Ethiopian Airlines a 49% equity stake and the federal government had 5% equity, while a consortium of 3 Nigerian investors had 46%. Reacting to the deal in June 2023, the House of Representatives asked the federal government to suspend the operations of Nigeria Air, describing it as a fraud. In August 2023, Keyamo announced that the National Carrier Project was suspended until further notice. Keyamo said it remains suspended. It was never Air Nigeria. It was never Air Nigeria. This is the truth. It was only painted Air Nigeria. It was Ethiopian Airlines trying to flag our flag. If it is so, why not allow our local people to fly our flag and bring a foreigner to fly our flag? So nobody should dispute that it was Air Nigeria. Air Nigeria must be indigenous, must be wholly Nigerian, and must be for the full benefits of Nigeria, not that 50% of the profit is for another country, he explained. Keyamo reiterated that the ownership structure of the suspended airline was not beneficial to the country. And the Securities and Exchange Commission has announced plans to release a framework that will guide the capital market that to guarantee that all outstanding matters were settled in the best interest of the market. The Commission was prepared to communicate with different sectors of the capital market. We are on top of the issues. We do not want to miss anything. It will still be attended to in the interest of the market. We will come up with a framework to move the market. We are in this together and we will continue to work and do our best. This is our constituency and we will do our best. We crave your cooperation to help us deal with major challenges. He urged the registrars to adopt technology to guarantee that the problems of unclaimed dividends in the capital market was resolved. Technology adoption is the most effective approach to guaranteeing punctuality and sanitize the system. The president of the institute noted that the registrars would act in the capital market's best interests. I congratulate the new SEC management on their appointment, and I pledge that the registrars will continue to work in the interest of the capital market, he averred. And on to power issues, the transmission company of Nigeria on Monday announced that 3 additional towers have been vandalized in the northeast, a development that will further worsen the blackout in the region. It said the latest incidents occurred along the Biu Damboa 132 kilovolts of conductors was stolen, adding that this was discovered by the company on Friday. Last week, TCN responded to the Northeast Governors Forums by stating that the electricity will be restored to the region on May 27, 2024. This was after the Northeast Governors Forum raised concerns that the region had been neglected, as the NEGF lambasted TCN over its poor handling of repairs of vandalized transmission towers in the region. But on Monday, TCN, in a statement issued in Abuja by its spokesperson, Ndidi Mba, stated that while it was trying to complete the reconstruction of 4 towers that were earlier vandalized in the northeast, it discovered that another 3 had been vandalized. It also stated that tower number T290, one of the 4 new towers affected by TCN contractors along Jos Gombe, along Jos Gombe 330 kilovolts transmission line collapsed during the cable stringing process. The incident occurred at about 7 a.m. this morning, May 27th, while the contractor was stringing the cable on the last tower, which was supposed to enable the final jointing of the power cables in time for energizing of the line today, the company stated. Transmission company, however, stated that while it was working to get that sorted, it found out that 3 additional towers had collapsed due to vandalism. It is unfortunate to note that while TCN is working on reconstruction and restringing the 4 vandalized towers, 3 towers along the Damboa 132 kilovolts transmission line were also vandalized with 16 spans of conductors stolen. The towers which have all collapsed include Tower T1690, Tower T1691, and Tower T1692. Mobilized a contractor to commence their reconstruction, and this discovery was made by the TCN patrol team last Friday. It, however, noted that despite the security challenges in the area, TCN contractors and some of its engineering staff worked tirelessly to fast-track the reconstruction of the earlier damaged towers, and it said that the firm did all that was humanly possible to meet the timeline. Daily, the contractor and the TCN engineers, accompanied by a security operative, consistently left the site by 10 p.m. and resumed work at 6 a.m. every day. The company reiterated its commitment to restoring normal bulk power supply through distribution companies serving the Northeast and other areas affected by vandalism. Now let's go to digital banking. Digital banking channels. In 2023, digital banking channels brought in roughly 438 billion naira for 10 financial institutions, an analysis of their annual reports has shown. Compared to the previous year, the banking group's earnings from electronic transactions rose by 37.54% from 318.64 billion naira. E-business income includes revenue from electronic channels, card products, and related services. These channels include mobile applications, USSD channels, automated teller machines, agency banking, internet banking, point of sale payments, as well as credit and debit card transactions. The growth in the electronic business income was driven by the increasing popularity of mobile and online banking in Nigeria. Some of the bank's annual reports that press analyzed were FBN Holdings, Access Holdings, Guaranty Trust Holding Company, United Bank for Africa, Zenith Bank, Wema Bank, Fidelity Bank, Stanbic IBTC Bank, Stanbic IBTC Holdings, Sterling Financial Holdings Company. Conversely, the banking group's IT support and related